Two.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Qigong with Everyday Tantra with Peter Peterson and Monique Darling. We're going to do a couple of moves to warm up our body, and then we're going to talk about procrastination, things that we've been putting off. For myself, I have not done Qigong for a few days, and I'm missing it. I'm missing the vibrancy that I get from the movements. I'm missing the stretching. I'm missing the gentle subtleties that come with the practice. So we're going to do a little bit, all right? You ready? So left hand is over right, thumbs are touching. And we're going to begin by slowly pulling our hands upward as we sink into our knees. Bending the elbows, hands come up over the forehead. And then hands come together in the prayer position and you stand back up as the hands come back down towards the heart. You take a little moment right at the heart. A little pause and then slowly move the hands down. Pulling the hands all the way up over the head, once again sinking into the knees. Backs of the hands are about to touch one another, and then you bring the hands together. Fingers touching, and then slowly standing back up. Hands come back down. And then slowly bring the hands back up towards the heart in the prayer position. Now this is one of my favorite moves. We bring the hands upward as high as we can reach. We stretch, 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 stretch. Push out, opening up the sky. Sinking into the knees. Our hands dig deep into the earth. Our arms go in between our head as we stand back up. We bring our hands all the way up. And then we push back, lean back as far as it's comfortable. And then turn the hands to face the heavens and just hold this position here. Back and shoulders are relaxed. Head slightly tilted up. Tongue touching the upper palate. Taking a moment to close our eyes, feeling our feet connected to the earth. Breath flowing deep into our body. And allow this energy just to flow down on top of you. You're like this giant radar dish collecting this energy. Then slowly bring your hands up and over your head. You sink into your knees as the hands come halfway down. And then stand back up as the hands come back down towards our sides. Then this is an ancient Taoist movement where you bring your hands together. Palm is over palm. Knee is turned out. Heel is off the ground. Hands come up towards the heart. And then slowly bring the hands back down towards your stomach. So it's inhale as the hands come up. Exhale as you bring the hands back down. Moving the energy from your bottom chakras all the way up into your heart. And then we'll finish here for today. You hold here, pulling your hand on your third chakra, your solar plexus. And it's a good place just to finish any Qigong move. And you can shake your hands out, shake your whole body. And we're going to talk about procrastination. So Monique and I went on these zip lines yesterday. It was really quite the phenomenal experience. And Monique has been to many cities all over the United States where they've had zip lines. And she's like, oh, I want to go to these zip lines, but we never get a chance to go because we're so busy. Well, here we are. We had a chance to actually go to a zip line. And what was it like for you?
It was amazing. And it was like, there have been 8 or 9 cities that I'll see a pamphlet or I'll see like the advertisement as we're driving by. And I'm like, Peter, let's go on the zip line, let's go on the zip line. And I realized when we got to Australia that this is something that my soul's really been wanting. And so every time I've been going to these cities and I haven't done it, then there's a part of me that's really, really longed to do that. And so then I can't fully appreciate what it is that we are doing. And so when we finally got up there, or the night before we even went, then we bought the tickets. And so then that was already a positive step because we actually had our tickets in hand. And then I'm like, you know what, Peter, I don't know if I'm going to love or hate this experience. I was afraid it was going to like pull on my body, or I didn't know what it was going to be like. Like, I'm not afraid of heights, but there's still like that tickle in my stomach. And like, I just didn't know. But I did know that I've been fascinated by the idea of flying like a fairy over these forests. And so we get up there and and I'm just getting more and more excited, and the tickle in my stomach's getting more and more, and they put the harness on, and they get us all ready, and they show us, and they're showing us all of these different scenarios that happen if you're not going fast enough, and either you have to grab the rope or you have to grab the cable, or else you're going to go back, and then they're going to have to come out and get you, and they don't want to come get you. And so then the first time up there, I'm like, Peter, what if we don't make it? And they're showing us all this way that we have to put our bodies, and then you get on and you're just soaring over the forest, and you're above the trees, and you can see the creek and see everything, and none of that matters, and you make it all the way to the other side, and it's just so incredible. And another thing is, I thought the zip line just went for like 2 hours straight, and you're actually going on several different lines, and so you get to go different ways, you get to spin around, you get to go upside down. Like each line, they progressively know that your confidence is going to get more, and so eventually you don't have to hold on to the little handlebars, and you don't have to pay attention to your feet or what's going on or trying to grab the rope or cable, and so you can just lay back and you can just go on the different cables.
That's exactly what she looked like right there. You're like, ah!
And so it was just so amazing to be able to come home and realize how much energy that I'd lost for like the last year and a half that I've been wanting to go and do this thing, and I just kept putting it off. And so I'm like, okay, Peter, there's our video for tomorrow.
Okay.
So what's the a thing that you've been putting off in your life that's taking a lot of energy?
It's writing my book. I've been wanting to write this book about wellness and self-care for a long time, and I've got parts of it written, and I just, because of the rigorous traveling schedule that Monique and I have been on for the last couple of years, I've had to shelve that whole idea of completing it, and now I'm coming to this place of like, I got to get this done. We've got to take a month off and find a place to chill and just write. So yeah, that is on the calendar for this year. We're gonna find a little crevice in our schedule, and make sure that happens, because this is something I've been working on for a long time. I think it could help a lot of people, and I think it's very important information for people to utilize. So it's time.
And so that's step one, is really getting in touch with what are those things in your life that keep poking you. That like wherever you go, that there's this thing, and whatever you're doing, then you keep on picking that there's something inside of you that's saying, do this. And for whatever reason you have, and maybe it might be a totally accurate excuse. Maybe there's a lot of things happening in your life. Maybe there's other things that might even seem more important. But if there's one or two or three things that just keep poking at you, then start listening, because that's usually your heart saying, let's do this. And anytime that you're not listening and those things keep poking, pretty soon they'll poke you harder, because if it's something that the universe wants done, or it's something that your heart really, really is called to, then the universe is going to keep taking everything out of the way. So it's much easier if you take the things out of the way and prioritize. But it also, as it's poking you, and as you're making these excuses and you're doing other things, that piece is still sitting there, and so it's leaking energy. Because those moments that you're not doing it, then there's still a part of you that's like, why aren't I listening? Why aren't I listening to my soul's calling, to whatever that thing is in that moment? For Peter, it's his book. Another big thing for me is the past 9 months. Like, I went to Amsterdam 9 months ago for the first time. Had the most amazing experience. Like, I wrote about it. I'll put a link in here to the whole day experience that I wrote about. But we got to walk down this whole alleyway that was just filled with psychedelics, and like, so much is legal in Amsterdam. And so you just walk into the store, and all the shop owners sit there and talk to you about the mushrooms that they're growing and the different properties, and like, they'll sit there and let you smell them, and they hold them, and like, they have this whole relationship with these magic mushrooms that each of them hold on to. And it's so different from everywhere else in the world, where it's like, if you even talk about it, then it has to be quiet and in circles, and if people that know that no one's going to talk outside of that circle and say, oh, you were talking about psychedelics. And so there's just this freedom. And then we went to the red light district, and the same thing. Like, there was this soul calling inside of me to want to be with someone else and to be able to have that experience from the time I was little. Then I'd always wanted to hire someone. And so Peter and I gave ourselves that permission, walked around, found this little fairy girl that we both were attracted to, and went in and negotiated a price and had this amazing experience. And when I walked away, I realized all of that stuff inside of me that I'd been carrying just melted. And so that's the thing is then, but when I left Amsterdam, then there was this voice that was started as a whisper. And even that day when I wrote up my whole experience, I'm like, wow, I want to bring 10 people over to Amsterdam and let them experience this. And then it started getting louder. And every festival that I was going to and every other event that I was doing, then I'm like, Peter, we've got to take people to Amsterdam. And we met some amazing people that live, like Ulrike lives in Amsterdam. And we have David, that's been my friend for a very long time. And they're like, hey, this is our dream too. And the very day that we actually posted our event, they were like, come to Amsterdam and be yourself, as free as you want for 10 days as we go through Tantra and living that way and personal sessions and like all the things that were inside of my brain. Again, all of that stuff relaxed. So as you start tapping into, what are those things that you've been procrastinating? What are the things that you prioritize other things above it, but that thing keeps showing up? Before you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, when you're doing other things that you really love, there's still something else they're saying, but you could be doing this. Why aren't you doing that? Then those are the things to start looking at, and then maybe tomorrow, or maybe a month from now, or maybe 9 months from now, however long it takes you to prioritize it, then do it. Because those are the big things. The book, the creating the event in Amsterdam, the ziplining, like ziplining was a medium event. It was awesome. But those big events, they might take some time to really schedule. But as you're feeling the soul calling more and more, then schedule the time. Say, you know what, in 3 months, I'm taking 3 weeks off, or a week off, or I'm scheduling 2 days, whatever it is for the thing that you want to do, schedule it. And then start working towards it so that then those energy leaks and those things aren't being, the energy that could be going into that event or that thing that you're wanting to do is going there instead of leaking out of why aren't I doing it? How come I'm still not doing it?
I agree.
And then every day you want to start doing that with the little things. Like for Peter, it's Qigong. Every single morning he wants to do Qigong. For me, then it's really making a priority to make these videos because I love coming and visiting with you guys and sharing these things from my heart. Because for me, that's what I feel like is one of my greatest gifts in this world, is to be able to talk about what's alive, what's true, and how to be able to relate it with life in general. And then I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. Like I get up and I write my question of the day of like, what's really burning in my soul? And like the last couple days, and it's like, what do you want in your headstone? What are the first words that you say when you wake up, or the last words you say when you go to sleep? And like, what is your heart whispering to you right now? And like, those are the questions that are going on inside of my mind. And I love being able to have a platform as Facebook to be able to post them and see what's happening with all of you. Because and then no matter where we are traveling to, I still feel like we're connected. So those are little pieces that I made excuses about, especially the video. Oh, we're so busy, we're working 12-hour days, or whatever it is. No, I want to show up. And this is a piece that's really important to me. What else do you want to add, honey?
That was a lot of information. I'm still kind of digesting all that. Other than that, I feel like...
What happens when you beat yourself up? Because there's days when you come to me and you're all in your head because you're like, wow, I procrastinated again and I'm really not doing the things that I want to accomplish in this lifetime. So what goes on for you, and then how do you turn it around so that you're able to turn that depression into motivation?
I move my body. I go for a walk or go outside and touch the grass or a tree or do something to ground myself and shake myself off, you know, and then I go back to normal. It's energy just gets stuck, and for me, movement is how I move it and let it resolve itself back out into the universe. So I just find convenient, fantastic ways to move my body. And so yeah, that's me.
Well, you write it in your journal too. Like those are pieces for you. And for me, when I'm in the shower in the morning or I'm in the bubble bath, like those of you that follow along know how much I love bubble baths, then I'll just sit there for a little while and just soak and close my eyes and just let the thoughts come. And without trying to filter them, without trying to edit them or make sense of them, I just allow the thoughts to be there. And eventually, by the time I get out of the bathtub, there's 2 or 3 things, either that I'm really excited about or that I'm regretting. And the regrets are, okay, those are what really mean something to me. And so maybe it's some words that I forgot to say to somebody, or there's someone in my life that for whatever reason, then we're not in communication, or maybe there was a little rift that was developed there, and I'm missing that person. And so I really want to see if there's a way to build a bridge there so that we can actually connect again. Or maybe there's something like Amsterdam that I'm super, super, super excited about. And so then I can start formulating what are the steps necessary to be able to put that into place. And then once I have the steps, then on the times that I have off, because even if you're working 12 hours a day, you have breaks in between. You have time before you go to bed. You have time when you wake up. And so for me, then I need to be able to have some doable actions that I can do during that time that will further me along for my goal. Otherwise, I just get overwhelmed and I want to watch TV, or I want to play a game, or I want to connect with my partner, or I want to walk around these beautiful cities where we are. And I make time for all of those things too. But if I don't have a schedule or I don't have a to-do list, I'll only do those things, because those things are easier when I have time off.
Yeah, writing things down is so important. I feel like when I write things down, I get so much more done than when I just try and do it all in my head. Mm-hmm. So making a daily practice of writing stuff down is something I need to do more. And I need to stop procrastinating on writing things down.
Really?
Yes.
So do a meditation today and really get in touch with what are the small things that you really, your soul is calling you to do every day. And then start seeing how little ways that you can add those into your daily schedule and that you can actually prioritize. And sometimes you have to say no to some other things that you have been doing that may have been enjoyable or may have been distractions. And either way, it's like, you know what? Thank you so much for serving me. Like, that's an important step too, is thank those parts of you that have shown up, that have helped distract you, that have helped you make it to where you are today. And then say, you know, I care so much about me that I'm actually going to make these little changes so that I'm not leaking energy, regretting that I'm not doing it, or wondering what would happen if I did do it. And if you've never been on a zip line, go do that. It's amazing.
Unless you're super scared and you don't want to do it, because it's a little scary. I mean, you're up really high, it's pretty steep, and you go really fast. But if you have an aversion to some of those things, it might be a great way to get over those things you're scared of. And you're completely safe. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to fall. You're around professionals. So, yeah, I'd say try it.
Or whatever it is that you've been putting off that you're super excited about, go do it. Because if I could like open up my heart and show you the feeling that I feel from having done it yesterday, I would give that to you. But I can tell you, there was so much excitement and joy. And the first couple of zip lines, it was not scary, but there was still that perfectionist inside of me, and there was still that weighing and balancing, you know, the counterbalance where you have the scale of, is this worth it? Was it worth the money that I spent? Is this really what I am liking? Like, is this the most enjoyable way that I could be spending my time? And then my mind just relaxed, and I stopped caring about the leg positions, and all of those things just started melting away, and I was just so in my joy. And it was so relaxing. I'm like, wow, I really am a fairy or an angel flying over this forest, and I can see everywhere. And there was nowhere else that I would have rather been in that moment. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens when you stop procrastinating and you're actually doing the things that you've been holding back on. Mm-hmm. So if that helps open up my heart a little bit so you can see, I hope so. But just try it. Go feel for yourself. Do something small, and then something medium, and then something big that you've been putting off, and just notice how great it feels because you're not putting you off anymore.
Yeah. So we'll post the links to the Amsterdam event we're doing in July. I believe it's July 24th. Is that correct?
27th.
27th, that's right. And that goes to August 5th, I believe. And so yeah, and we'll also post the article or the thing Monique did in Amsterdam, which is an amazing story. If you have not read it, I would recommend it.
We love all of you. See you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.